Alright, you guys, we're back, and listen, we are going to be talking about the ice dance here, about the Grand Prix finals, and let me tell you, strap in, get ready, because Jesse is ready to deliver. We are going to be talking about some stuff that could be controversy to others, but we got to get into it. As a fellow Canadian, I got to talk about Piper and Paul. I'm not too happy about their complaining, and I'm going to get into it. About some people don't agree with all the standings, and I'm not worried about all that. I'm going to talk about and get right into it about, place 1 to 4, or not even worrying about the rankings, but more just against each other. The top ones are the top 4. Ryan, do you want to say anything before I get on a roll?
Welcome to the Free Skate. My name is Ryan, and this is Jesse. And
Alexa decided to come in there at the end.
Alexa wanted to feel part of.
I need you to calm down, Alexa, because I got a lot to say.
We are actually both going to have different opinions on this, so it's going to be interesting to debate this out.
But we all know what happened prior to the show. If you didn't know, I predicted the Americans win. I predicted the Canadians wouldn't be on there because we're going to get into it. Why I was predicting these things.
To be fair, I didn't predict Piper and Paul on the podium either. But
that's fair. You did have them up 4th, right?
I did have them 4th, which was where they finished, by the way. But I did have Reed and Amber Levicious.
Yeah, that was a little
bronze.
Weird
but
feel.
I went off the charts because I know Ice Dance has been wild this year, and
You're just waiting for a screw up somewhere.
Well, they have been probably the most consistent, and I figured,
Well, the Americans have definitely been the most consistent. They've won everything they've done this year.
Yeah, but they've still had mistakes, right? So I just
hold on. I'm offended.
Okay, so who do you want to talk about first, or what kind
of let's talk about who got first here. Okay. Chalk and Bates, my couple. But listen, here's the thing. Honestly, the reason why is, listen, if everyone knows me from way back in the day, the OGs, I love Tessa and Scott. They're my favorite. And it's all because in ice dance, you have to have an it factor. You have to have a program that excites you. And you got to be out there looking, like, ice dance is 2 people, not individuals. It's about 2 people going and making a spectacular type of thing. What am I
Spectacle?
Spectacle. That's what I was trying to get at. And, they used to do it. Then the Americans, Charlie and Wright, they did it as well. Then we had the French, Gilliam and...
You're talking about the one who's skating now?
No, prior.
So Gilliam Cicerone and Gabriela Papadakis.
Yes, they had it. Those you knew, though, they always had it. You felt the energy. They had an aura. They always were to each other. Everything they did, you were like, you would always be wowed, right? Is that not true? Like, You would be wowed by them. So now the game has changed after the Olympics, the last Olympics. Now Chalk and Bates. Remember, Chalk and Bates were never winning prior. They took their time to get better and better and better. But every time they got better. And I was like, what am I going to do? Tess and Scott are gone, blah, blah, when they came back and then they retired. And I was like, oh, I don't love anyone this. And they captured me because when it came to that, remember that snake performance they did that one time? Things like that was like what the French and Tess and Scott and others were doing.
They were known for their originality and their dances. They would come out with themes that very few people would choose to tackle, and they really made it their own. And I think that's what got them a real big fan base in this last quad.
You're speaking of Chalk and
Bates. Is they just had very unique dances and really, really unique original choreography that would grab people in.
And here's the thing. I'll be the first one to say it, and I always say it. They are not the fastest skaters. But does fast always mean the best? No. Because you got to be able to still do all the good. You got to make your program filled. You got to be able to do things and capture awes and audiences and views and that type of stuff. They do that.
Well, I'll tell you what they are really good at. They're really, really, really good at their facial expressions and emoting to the audience and bringing them in, and they are very, very, very good at feeding off each other and doing their lifts that pop in the program and putting them to the musicality in
their positioning
spots.
Preferably
their composition of their programs is actually really, really, really their strong point.
And that's what I'm saying about Chalk. Like Madison, I mean, she just always does everything. If you want her to be in a position, she's got it. If you want her to do a leg extension, she's got it. If you want to have facial expression, she does everything picture perfect. I'm sorry. This whole notion about like, well, how the Canadians are complaining. I'm Canadian, so I'm just being unbiased here. They're complaining that, they feel like they're not getting the looks and this and that. I watched back to back. I had others also who do not watch figure skating. You tell me. I always say this first. Let's strip away all the components, strip away all the technical. Just watch both.
Well, that's what we actually did after the Grand Prix final. When we viewed it, we went to his sister's place. And they aren't a typical figure skating watching household, and we got them to watch the ice dance event, and we didn't show them who won or anything, and we were like, who would you?
What do you like?
What do you think?
What's capturing you?
And this is from like a non-technical point of view, where like they're not judging their edges and they're not judging, the stuff that their levels on like.
Just what's capturing them?
Right.
Does this excite you?
Right.
And to be quite frank, they didn't really like Piper and Paul. They thought it was boring, flat, wasn't their thing. They loved the Brits.
Yes.
What's her name again?
Layla and Lewis Gibson.
And she's so beautiful. Can I just say she's beautiful? Her and Madison, you two are so beautiful. I just want to let you know that. I just have to say that. But they are, going back to the Americans out, they are fucking amazing. And when I captured everything and I said, okay, I want to put short to short, I wanted to see. And the difference is this. Tell me the highlight out of Piper and Paul's. Where's the highlight in that rhythm dance? What are they doing? Where is it?
Hold on. Let's back up a second. Two things. First of all, I don't think anyone is arguing that Piper and Paul should have won the whole event, or that Madison, Chalk, and Evan Bates shouldn't have won.
No, but let me get to my point. They are complaining, though. Piper is complaining now on this big rampage.
I think upset they didn't get a bronze medal.
I think they're worried about that. They think the coach to Chalk and Bates and to all the rest are somehow, I don't know, maybe helping out, not letting them win. It's like, can I just say something about the Canadians? You guys, Piper and Paul, you got to look in the mirror sometimes and say this. You've had 3 different eras, like we're talking about Olympic eras. You haven't been in the top 3 ever out of any of them. Not at the Olympics, not in anything huge. And what about the Worlds? Did they get in the Worlds in there? Medals. But was Chalk and Bates there when they won those Worlds?
They didn't win the Worlds. They won.
Okay, but did Chalk and Bates there? I don't know.
Yes.
They were?
Yes.
Okay, well, regardless, they can have their one win then, or whatever they did in the Worlds. They are never there. Every time I watch them, they'll say they're not in the top 3. And go ahead. You could say like, well, no, but they were there. Go look at history. History will show what I'm being honest about. They have not been there. Sorry. They've always been 3rd in Canada, finally 1st, because the 2 others have literally retired. And it's like, I look at this performance, I'm going, why are you guys complaining? Where is the highlight in this rhythm? There's not a lot of going on. Yes, you guys are fast. Yes, Piper definitely does lots of face expressions. She looks in the zone. I give her all that. Their twizzles are quick. But other than that...
They have been in the tops this whole last Olympic quad.
Yes.
And then some. They
have.
They are 2-time world silver medalists and 2-time world bronze medalists.
There you go. Okay, so how many times? 2 times?
2 silvers and 2 bronzes.
And that's within the last 4 years? I would assume the last 4 years.
Well, yes, but I don't know what years. It was definitely the last 2 for sure.
Yeah.
I think it's been third, second in the last 4.
But so regardless of the whole conspiracy that they think, it's like, no. Yeah, but okay, and remember, the French weren't there. They're back. So that takes another spot. Remember, they're back, so they're taking another spot from them. from the Canadians. So unfortunately, there's another one. You got to up your game. The rhythm this year is not very exciting. I'm sorry.
Okay, let's pause for the rhythm dance for a second here. I think Piper and Paul, and I've thought this since the first time I saw the rhythm dance.
And you love, by the way, he loves them.
I do really like them. I think this is the wrong program for them. I think this is the wrong
music. Like the rhythm?
The rhythm dance. I think this is the wrong vehicle for them, and I don't think they're doing themselves any favors going into the Olympics with this dance. I feel like if they are going to stick with this dance, they need to do a complete overhaul of the program and hope for the best, or scrap it and go to another rhythm dance, because I feel like it's a little bit uptight. I feel like it's a little bit stiff. I don't feel like there's a lot of pop in the program. I was very excited for them to skate to RuPaul. I thought it would be much more sassy than it is. I think Paul looks very statuesque mannequin in it. Piper, I think, is selling it with her facial expressions and stuff. I don't see anything from Paul, which is super odd because I think
he does a little. No, he does a little.
A little.
But it's them together. They're not doing much together as a couple, as a unit, as a team. And you go watch Chalk and Bates, who are in first. They are always embodied to each other. They're lifting with each other. They're grabbing onto each other, going to the next one. They're in the middle of their mid-step sequence. They're doing little like hip-hop dance. They're always doing something to create you to be excited. They're not the most powerful. But that's where they win. That's where they win all the time. They're so good on capturing somebody and also making a program. Components are part of it. And maybe they're I don't see the problem. They're technical, but I mean, some people don't like it. Or not saying they don't like it, but some people don't think they're number one or whatever. I don't see the issue because I just see what they're doing. I'm going, but you also got to be technically sound, and that's part of skating. Technically sound means being on your A game on everything that you do. They've been docked a couple levels at times.
Yeah.
It's not like they're not getting called on it.
Well, they were in this event.
Right. So, and then let's get to the long program and really elevate it. Their long program, I am sorry.
Free dance.
I know. I call it long. It is what it is. But there's no question to me that's the best. What she's doing, I'm like, look back and watch. It's like a theater. It's like you are sitting in a theater watching her portray, and I mean like her. She's doing so much, you guys. She's grabbing her what do you call it, like a dress or is it a skirt?
Dress, yeah.
It's a skirt, yeah, whatever. And she's always doing something to make sure it's part of the performance and her character. So it's an extra layer on what she's doing.
I will say for their free dance, I was not feeling it at the beginning of the year. And I told you this. I said the dress was wrong. She was playing with it too much. I think they've reworked the whole dance completely different. If you go watch the dance at the beginning of the year to now, it is literally not the same dance.
I mean, everybody does, but it is still the same dance.
They, I think, have taken the most effort to change their dance to their favor out of pretty much anyone. But
like that is what I call a work of art. I'm just like, that's elite. That is Olympic winning. I always say, and I've said it since day one, you always look for the Olympic song. That means it's got to feel like a winner, right? Like something that captures you and you're just like, that's energy. And then on top of that, it's they grasp you in what they're doing, what they're portraying out there. And they portray exactly what they're showing you. And it's just so freaking good. I'm like, I'm sorry. You can't tell me differently. How come I'm seeing this and going, that's a winner. I know they're going to win. Before it's happening, because I'm going, I can see how the difference of them and others of when it comes to skating. And I've always been that way of like really being unbiased and just saying like, what looks hard? They make the hard things look so easy. The way she gets up in a position and a flip and then out. Like nothing. Just, or like when she's like doing these like somersaults like literally over his back. flipping like a different way, and it's just, you're like, okay, I'm gonna try that at home, but maybe I shouldn't. You know, but like, then I'm sorry, but it's like, then you get like the Canadians, and I'm like, I know because this is the controversy, and I'm going like, where is it? They're great skaters.
Free dance is missing a few highlighted moves. Even
is it elegant? Yes.
Yes.
Is it great skating? Yes.
I think there's a few tweaks that they can do in their free dance that could go a really, really long way. And one of them would be in their closing rotational, I'm not sure if it's a choreographic lift or something like that, but they finish. She's on top of his shoulders, but he's also crouched down, and they're spinning. And it's cool, but like it's not flashy.
Yeah.
I feel like that's not gonna get you a ridiculous high GOE. The GOE, I wish I had that paper with me. I calculated all the GOEs between everyone in the entire event, and Piper and Paul, I want to say had 23 point something GOE in the entire event, and Chalk and Bates had I think it was 29 something. That's 6+ points in GOE.
And I don't know how people can't see that. It's night and day. Like, I know we all have our favorites. It's fine. But you have to sometimes take the blinders off and say, okay, actually, because listen, everybody's trying to win, you guys. Why should you strip somebody else who actually deserves to win just because you like somebody else? You're like, no, but actually, like, they did it. No, they're trying just as much as everyone else, right? So you got to take that bias away, and you got to look at it, and you're going to be like, no, that's good. They are the cream of the crops right now. And the French are there, but I'm not mad at the French because I think the French are right in line with them, so I'm not really talking too much about them.
Well, the French had their deduction.
And that's it. That's why.
Which, honestly, if they would have had to
be so much
performances, closer. I mean, they would have been incredibly close
to
them.
It would not have been a 6. Never, ever get mad at them or deny them of that. I always say they're neck and neck. We said that last time.
Yeah.
So it's now coming to the Brits and the Canadians also, though, they feel like they should be elevated more. Piper's she's upset about certain things, and I'm going, but I know I know they're working hard. I'm not trying to take away any of what they're doing. They're working their, you know what, off every day. But when it comes to the best, there's always sometimes the best. Just like Yuma in the men's is working his tail off. He had a 14-point lead. Unfortunately, there's just somebody there that is elite and is that good at his craft that it's like, there's nothing you can do. And sometimes, unfortunately, you have to give your hand to somebody else to say, you know what? They're deserving it. Look at your performance and say, can I be better? Do I need to get this better? I know you love it.
It's kind of hard to compare, quadruple jumps worth 12 points versus
no, but it's talking about
6 ice dance lifts.
But it's talking about the aspect of it doesn't matter. I'm not comparing Ilya to an ice dance. I'm talking about Ilya versus his own person in his own.
I think Gilles and Poirier can close the gap if they rework parts of their program. Both the gap between them was 14 points in this entire event. I think that is a huge gap. That I was very unexpected to see. I did not think it would be 14 points because they've been very close to them the last few years. And 14 points is like the difference of like Alicia, Fabry, and Paul Iyer to Piper and Paul now. I mean, you watch them skate versus Piper and Paul, it's a world of difference. I don't see 14 points difference between Piper and Paul and Madison and Evan.
However, and I'm not going to talk about that. I'm not going to say yay or nay to that.
Well, I will say I think Piper and Paul have some work to do to rework their programs and how
I don't think they're going to be reworking too much now because it's time for nationals and then.
Well, you got time. There's lots of time.
My problem is
the second half of the year. They have to put in some highlighted things and they have to change some things around to get the maximum out of their program. And I know it is not there yet. And I really do.
But how is it getting there?
Their rhythm dance needs to go.
They've never had that it factor though, ever. People like them, sure. That's not saying, but wait, that's not saying that people don't like them, that they don't do good. But the special people have it factors, you guys. In any sport,
Piper there's and always Paul's good rhythm dance, or was it the free dance? I remember when they had that wild orange costume, like they were. Do you remember that dance where they had their like fluorescent costumes on? that was a phenomenal dance. They had that composition in there.
But what I'm trying to say is, and then you go to the long and you look at the Canadians, I'm like, again, there's no it factor in it. They're skating well, yep. They got speed, yep. They are elegant, yes. But is it drawing you in as like, for components we're talking about, is it drawing you in like, oh, remember that move they did? Like, you're kind of just left like, well, that was a good skate. Like, awesome, good for them.
I think you're going to get a really wide range of opinion with that.
I don't. The truth is, this is what I say though. You can fight it all you want, but when I'm seeing, I'm not a judge. How come I'm seeing what the judges are seeing? And I wanted to say this. Okay, so the French judges are scoring the Americans over their own French team and the Canadians. The Canadians judges are judging the Americans over the Canadians and the French, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm just saying, there you go. Our own nations are still picking them over. So I'm not being biased.
Again, they're not fighting over Piper and Paul losing to the top two teams.
No, I know. I know they still think they should be. They're always...
This is more about the Brits.
But they've been complaining ever since I've been watching ice stats. They're always upset. They don't think they get enough scores. They don't think this. But you can't keep complaining. You got to do something about it eventually. Mm-hmm. You got to change your program. You got to do something that might be a little bit different than you've done previously. You still are with the same coach. I mean, I don't know. Is that coach great? I don't know. I don't see her winning a lot. So, like, I don't know. You're not, if you're going to keep beating the same drum, well, get the same sound. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what to tell them. That's the truth, though. I'm not here to play bias. I'm Canadian. I'm sorry. I'm not sticking up for that.
I mean, to be only fair with the whole comment with the coach, Carol Lane also coaches the Irish team.
Okay.
They used to represent Canada. You know who I'm talking about, right? Firas and
okay, yeah.
Caroline Soucis and Shane Firas.
Mm-hmm.
They came into Canadian Ice Dance one year, and like I was like, oh, like they're gonna be really good. I mean, they have been so stagnant. They switched to Ireland to, I guess, get a chance at the Olympics, I'm assuming, because they knew they weren't going to make it with Canada. That isn't even going to happen because they didn't qualify at skate to Milano. But they have had Carol Lane as their coach the entire time. Mm-hmm. And I have said for years prior to them even switching from Canada to Ireland that they need a new coach. She was not bringing out the best in them.
And Adam Rippon kind of said it straight to Skate Canada. And I agree. It's like, step up and do something then. Do something different. Because what you're doing right now, your federation, as I was telling you the other day, is not going well right now. Sorry.
Well, if you're talking about IM in Montreal, like, how many ice dance teams do they coach? It seems like they're in the Casino area for like literally every single team that is in the top 13. Maybe.
So my question is this for you. They have all these top teams, right? Not just the Americans, Jock and Bates.
Sure.
So Piper and Paul, listen to this. How come, do you think those other teams want to just lose? No, they're trying to win. And they have the same coach, by the way. And they all have to do different programs, right? Someone wants to win. So they're not just trying to lose and say, oh, like, take it for the coach. Like, the coach has got so many teams. It's not her somehow just going to the judges and what? I don't know. Giving her more pennies? Like, come on. It's probably because they must know something.
There's a lot of conspiracy theories going around about how...
And that's what happens when losing happens.
Montreal club takes all these medals and gets ahead of everyone, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Well, it's kind of hard not to when you have 90% of the ice dance teams on the earth. Also, too, I mean, they're around how many different federations? I generally don't know how many federations are they involved with. Probably, I would say at least 10 different federations.
Whichever, it's a lot. It's more than one or two.
Their school. But I mean, they have Canadian teams, they have American teams, they have French teams, they have British teams, they have, I don't know, there's more. Anyways.
No, they're the Czechs. Or no? What about the one you like?
Which ones?
The ones that finished 5th. 6th?
Maybe? I have absolutely no idea.
Anyway,
I don't know. Anyways.
I was just...
They have access and know people in so many different areas of the sport. They have access to so many domestic judges from different federations, so many international judges from different federations, and I'm sure they are getting feedback from their teams on a regular basis.
Asking questions.
I don't know if Piper and Paul are doing that.
Asking questions. What are you guys looking for? That. Right. Or are you doing enough? Well, I don't know, but come on. Do you really think this is some like screw job to Piper and Paul? Like, you guys, come on. When I look at performances, I'm not seeing that. You're not going like, oh my gosh, like Tessa and Scott lost to some like bottom feeding team. Like that, you would be like, what? They're not even close.
Okay, let's talk about Piper and Paul and
the
Lila and Lewis.
I love the Brits. I'm sorry. I appreciate them. I think they give so much energy on the ice. And I think the rhythm dance blows the Canadian one again. It blows it away too.
I'll agree with that. I think their rhythm dance should be scoring higher than the Canadian.
Like, I don't know how else to say it. I don't even want to like try and argue about it. It's to me, I'm sorry, if you're watching both of those, you're going, I'm picking the Brits.
Do you think the British team's free dance has enough highlights and enough technical content in
I love the highlights of it.
I know. To get a higher score than Piper and Paul, who technically are better skaters than the British.
Give me this. I think when I watch the first of all, I think they're close. So I would actually like to state that first. I think both teams are pretty close. And I don't see one way better than the other, truthfully. I think they both have really good speed. I think they do their twizzles pretty similar, like speed-wise too. Like I'm not seeing a lot of difference.
Paul's skating noticeably different than the Brits.
If you want to take that, I would say you can have that point. I'll give you that, and I wouldn't fight that on that. But again, there's more highlight with the Brits to me. Way more personality. Way more.
I'll agree.
Way more like just they get into that like what do you call that? That little dance they do. The little like I don't know, Scottish, right? They're doing the Scottish one, right?
Yes.
Like they're adding so much more value in there, and by the way, they change it up in the middle of that. You know, because it all of a sudden it just kind of elevates in
the British
temperature,
their composition and their music has quite a bit
more energy,
range in it.
Yeah.
So they have their slower part, they have their upper part. They are Piper and Paul's is pretty much
that's what I'm saying. That's my problem. Time. It's flat. It's always this with them. And if it's in a rhythm, that's a 90s a little bit. Even if it's got like the same, what do you call that? Like kind of beat. It's still the same. Even if it's like
but the French are like that too.
No,
their free dances.
They like 4 different songs and it's changing different, literally tempos.
Free dance. The French's free dance is.
Oh, I thought you said that Brits.
French.
Look, I'm all mad. You guys already.
The French's free
dance.
That's
fair. No, that's true.
But I will say
way better.
The French.
They're that one where they do that side together and then they literally switch the other. So it's like, dude, come on, that's a highlight. That's what you remember, right? Like that's
their
something.
Skating is also
way better,
noticeably different.
And we both said the French this time. By the way, this is the best they've skated. We thought
100%.
That long, so good,
very very good, gorgeous.
Even though they had a couple deductions, but is what it is.
Which, by the way, they had that lift deduction for going overtime.
Yeah.
That's the second time that they've had that this year.
Happens.
So
but Kate, back.
Interesting. Okay, anyways.
To the Brits. So the Brits to me have a lot more it factor, again, because it's personality, changing tempos, and they're always trying to get the fans in it as well. And that counts. I don't care. That counts because it's all about components and making you as a viewer or a fan or an audience member, whatever.
I'm going to tell you what I have beef with the scoring.
I got beef. I've been saying it the whole time. But what?
Okay, so skating skills.
Okay.
Lila and Lewis have gotten 9.0, 9.0, 9.25, 9.25, 9.0, 9.25, 9.25, 8.75, and 9 for a score of 9.1.
Who gave 8.75?
Judge number 8.
Is? What nation?
Judge number 8 is...
Is that French?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I was right. Okay. And then
the Canadian judge is number 1, the British judge is number 3.
Okay. And then what did the Canadians get for skating?
Can I also just tell you, judge number 8 and 9 gave Fournier, Baudry, and Cicerone an 8.75 for skating skills. They got that? The lowest. They actually they had Lila and Lewis higher in skating skills. That's crazy.
But I don't hate the Brits skating, so I'm not against that.
The skating skills are quite a bit different though. However, they do have to lower their scores because of their thing.
That's true.
Piper and Paul's skating skills were 9.5, 9.25, 9, 9.5, 9.25, 9, 9.25, 9.
So they gave it to them better.
So they did have higher skating skills than the Brits.
By a little bit.
But it was only 9.25 to 9.11.
Okay.
So that was... I thought it might be a little bit higher, to be honest with you.
Well, I don't know how much more higher they... No, I don't think so, because they're not that much better, in my opinion.
Their presentation was equal. Literally, both of them got 9.29.
Hey, you guys, come on. Like, at this point, now I'm mad that you just said that.
And composition, slightly higher for the Brits.
I don't know. I just, again, the Canadian performances, it's just this too much. There's no, like, you know what I mean? Get me going. Draw me back. Oh, get me back in it. No, it's just... And it's just boring to me. It's flat.
Can I go off to... I'm going to go off topic for 1 second just to, like, put this opinion in. I think Emily Zingas and Vadim Kolesnik are phenomenal.
I know, but they're nowhere near
them. I think they're so good. And I think this next quad is going to be theirs.
No, it could be. They're definitely up and coming team. I would give them
honestly, I would have had them ahead of Allison and Saul.
Oh, let me guess. Pepper Paul are gonna, if they hang around, they're going to be mad at those Americans next. Yeah, exactly. We're laughing at this point because I'm just so over it. I'm over the arguing and the complaining over it because it's like, you haven't tried to change it all this time. And I guess I just wanted to come out here and speak of like, I ain't sticking up for that. I'm defending how the Americans were great, how the French were still good, and the Brits were really good. And I'm sorry, but the Brits are good. And
I don't think anyone's saying they're not good.
No, but like, they think they're like way better than the Brits. And I'm like, I don't think so. Sorry, I don't see it.
I think they're close.
I find the Brits way more exciting.
I do think that Piper and Paul probably should have a higher score in the free dance than the Brits, but that's...
I'm over it. But that's all I have to say on that. I hope, like, I don't know. I didn't make too many pro-Canadians mad. I don't know, but I don't care because I don't like to be biased.
Well, you spoke your truth.
I spoke my truth, and you guys, you know me, when I get going, I like to be passionate.
Well, the next truth that's going to be spoken is going to be in our next video, and we will be doing the men.
Are we excited for that? Oh, Jesse's going to be upset again. Okay, anyways, until next time, if you guys can't tote it, tan it. Let's get It's actually so funny.